Well, the reason we are in New Zealand today is the same reason why Rebel News is in Australia. It really shows the difference one person can make. And I'm talking about one of my favorite reporters I've ever met, Avi Yemini, who's our chief Australian correspondent. I call him a one-man army because he really is. Avi, it's great to see you.
Good to see you, mate. I appreciate it. Very kind.
Well, it's true. And I think it's a combination of charisma and confidence, a self-deprecating sense of humor. You're quick on your feet, and you love the action. You got a nose for news, and you've really built Rebel News up in Australia. And now we're invading North Korea or New Zealand. It's sort of fun.
It is. Listen, I'm loving it, and I think the people, the way they're taking it in New Zealand, they need this. They need this in New Zealand more than anywhere on the planet, more than Australia, I think, because you see how far New Zealand went, even in COVID, and some of the legislation and the laws that are here are so far ahead than all of us, even in Australia and Canada.
You know, I remember when Jacinda Ardern, who just finished her term as the Prime Minister, early in COVID, she actually said at a real press conference, this is not an accident, she didn't retract it later, she said, trust us for all the news, we're your sole source of truth. Here, watch her say it in her own words. This is real, people.
New Zealanders must prepare. But do not panic, prepare. And when you see those messages, remember that unless you hear it from us, it is not the truth. And I really ask people, just visit covid19.govt.nz. It has all of the up-to-date information. And we will continue to provide everything you need to know.
The fact that the rest of the media, the rest of the establishment, the rest of the society said, okay, is terrifying. And, you know, she's no longer PM, but she's gone on to, I think she's at Harvard now, heading up a global censorship project.
That's exactly it. She, like I said, they try and test everything in New Zealand. So, of course, they want the person who successfully did it here. Remember, she's the one, it's her office that banned me for coming for the propensity to incite people with opposing views. And I feel like I'm actually kicking myself that the book, the front cover, I should have it in quotations as, you know, this is what they say about me, because, gosh, I wear that as with pride. I have a propensity of inciting people with opposing views. But they say that, they said that, the government here, the Jacinda Ardern government at the time said that as if that's a bad thing.
You know, I mean, New Zealand is part of the Commonwealth, and it has the traditions of free speech and debate and civil society. I mean, it's a wonderful, I've never been here before. It's lovely people, lovely place. And I don't know why, maybe because it's small, so it's not as noticed, but it really became, I mean, obviously it's nowhere near the actual North Korea, but boy, are the trends going in the wrong direction. And they stopped you because they wanted the unanimity of thought. They were afraid that if you came there, you would light a bunch of candles. Your candle would light a bunch of candles. And there are some other citizen journalists in this country, but they don't have as much oomph as you have or as we have in Canada. And, you know, maybe New Zealand doesn't matter. It's 5 million people. It's off the beaten path. But it matters for the people who live here. And like you say, it's a laboratory for bad ideas that are spread around the world. I care about New Zealand. I hope we can do something about it.
I'd argue that it matters for all of us because everything that happens here comes to, firstly, Australia or next door. And it affects, it's a domino effect. It affects all of us. And I think that they need it. They need it for them as much as we need it for us, for New Zealand to really bring the battleground here.